going to invite Mark Borden back up to share a letter that Susie Sturm had written and sent to him this week. She so wanted to come, but she's experiencing some health issues and wasn't able to travel this particular week. She really wanted to be here to tell us in person to thank you. All of the money that we're raising tonight goes to the American Cancer Society. If you're able to contribute to that, we're just delighted to have that opportunity to donate to that organization, and for tons of reasons, and Fred is a big one. So we're going to have Mark read Susie's letter.
Dear friends, to be honest, it's pretty surreal to think that this celebration concert is taking place in our beloved Honeoye Falls, and I'll not be there to share in the moment. Literally nothing short of my practically not being able to walk would keep me from attending. My new hip will be a done deal February 13th, and believe me, I'm counting the days. Lest you think my absence might have anything to do with the Packers advancing to the championship round this weekend. Although I'm hoping Fred might pull the same set of strings that put his beloved Cubs over the top last fall. We'll see. I know if I were there, I would be yet again overwhelmed and on the receiving end of a great outpouring of love and compassion after years worth of happy, once-in-a-lifetime memories spent with many of you dear friends. I'm so pleased that Ike can be here to visit and play this evening. He will no doubt represent our family well, as always. Maddie, a designer at CNN in New York, is in the thick of the inaugural week and unfortunately couldn't skirt her responsibilities. It's in the Constitution, after all. But I'm so grateful to all of you who have given of your time and talent to bring this program to life. I know it will be bittersweet, but mostly joyful. Fred would want that, of course. After all, who is a more joyful soul on this planet than Fred Sturm? I remember before we even left Wisconsin to begin the New York chapter, Fred was looking forward to meeting all of the area directors and local musicians. He talked about it often. Eastman was a given. He would become a fixture in those great halls soon enough, but it was the anticipation of the friendships in the greater Rochester area that was to come, all of you, who would establish his complete community. And that's exactly how it came to be. Fred was ever respectful of how hard all of you worked, how dedicated and talented you were, and how much you gave to your profession. He genuinely relished being in a position to help you with your programs, as well as appreciate and reflect your own accomplishments. It always came back to teaching for him, and I know that was something that set him apart while drawing him closer to you. I saw it in Wisconsin, and it was the same when we settled in New York. I believe his gifts and career were remarkable as a composer, director, and teacher extraordinaire. His unique, non-stop sense of humor, combined with his intense love of teaching students of every level, made him an unforgettable, larger-than-life character. After our return to Wisconsin and his dear Lawrence, after his cancer diagnosis, it seemed that especially his teaching took on new meaning and spirit. He told legions of friends that cancer was the best, worst thing that ever happened to him, even as he preached to you all to be screened by having colonoscopies at the appropriate time. His pedagogy class and rehearsals became tutorials on how to live your life with renewed energy and purpose. And he did so in the face of a decade's worth of tests, procedures, surgeries, scans, and never-ending treatments. I promise you, he made it look easy. Many of you saw him and could attest to that yourselves. It delighted him when people responded to his remarkable ability to move forward in the midst of it all, and even to recognize how he seized each and every new day God put in front of him. He thought that he was the lucky one to have learned such a lesson of thankfulness. Our family is grateful to Lawrence University for establishing the appropriately titled Fred Sturm Inspiration Award as a memorial to honor Fred's legacy. You will be amazed at how that endowment continues to grow, I know. Our thanks to those of you who have contributed. I remember vividly the gathering after the first memorial concert for our dear friend and Fred's mentor, Rayburn Wright. Late into that evening, the warmth of the stories of camaraderie, stories upon stories. reveling in the special bond that Ray's students shared because of their devotion and respect for that great man. There will no doubt, this will no doubt be an evening similar to that, and Fred would be humbled by your regard for his writing, and more importantly, the depth of your caring and friendships. Thank you, Mark, Bill Tiberio, Jim Dozer, Tom Davis, Clay, Jeff, all the Eastman faculty, all the participants, and the rest who have gathered to make this evening memorable and wonderful. And thanks, too, to dear friends Joan and Dick Haviland, who have graciously, yet again, opened their wonderful mill home to our family. Thank you all for celebrating Fred this way, the good and delightful man he was, a truly loving husband, father, and grandfather, the great colleague, teacher, and the ever-loyal friend. You all enriched our lives and years with your love. I know that Mike and Maddie join me in expressing our deep appreciation. I feel grateful beyond my capacity to express it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now go have some more fun. Susie Sturm.
At this time, we're going to hear a solo piano piece by, again, one of Fred's dearest friends, John Nyerges, and he simply calls it Tribute for Fred.
Just say a couple of things. I don't need the mic probably. You know, I was a grad student in the mid-90s. I already had a family, 3 kids, and I was struggling financially. And Fred did a lot as an arranger and a teacher. He was always generous with his time. But he really affected all of us, obviously. And he did make me feel like you were all his best friend and he was your best friend. And so I wrote that when I heard about this concert, I wrote this humble little piece last week for him. But he was a great man, and we could all see him in our minds all the time, walking into rehearsals with his Yankees t-shirt, and his jeans and his sneakers with his big smile. And so every day for the last 18 years where I'm teaching at MCC, I walk into the room 5 days a week with small group or big band, and I carry a little bit of his expertise with me, hopefully. And I try to live up to, you know, who he was as a teacher, which is a